This is a public service announcement to all my South Asians that specifically congregate in particular areas. For example, Southall Broadway and Ilford High Street. Guys, I don't think you realize as a collective how much we embarrass ourselves when it comes to these areas. As someone of Asian descent and being a Muslim, I need to go into these areas in order to get my halal meat and spices and all the rest of it. And I feel sick to my stomach when I go to these places. Like, I feel ill. I don't want to be there. Because there's always, every meter, there is some kind of man from back home. Either they're completely old and they have no sense of social etiquette. So they are staring through your clothes. It doesn't even matter how modest you might want to be. And then you've got the guys that have come over here from back home, donning their big 4x4s, but they're hanging out of the window with their tongues like this, staring at women constantly. Guys, please have some decorum. Especially for the women that are trying to dress more modestly. We're only there to pick up a few things and leave and go home. But my heart races. I get anxiety when I think all these filthy-minded men who have no social etiquette, they don't care that they're staring at you so hard they're not even blinking. Do you know how uncomfortable that makes a woman when all she's trying to do is grab some food or maybe go in a clothes shop or even a hijab shop? That is the areas where these shops are, so we haven't got a choice but to go there. Secondly, the filth on the streets. Why is it when you go to a heavily Asian area, somehow there is just rubbish all over the streets? Packets, wrappers, nappies. You go in a residential street, there's mattresses outside the front door, old prams, things are broken. Like, you just leave trash everywhere. Do you know how much of a bad name you give the rest of us South Asians that want to live इंसानों की तरह? और ये कुत्तों की तरह रह के जाहिलियत फैला दी है हर जगह पे. Like, we're starting to be known for these things. Well, not started. We have been known for these things. And unfortunately, we don't advance or better our behavior. और हम उधर ही रह जाते हैं. So please, I've seen so many South Asian people, and I'm specifically talking about these areas where we congregate. Like, they're walking along the street, they just throw rubbish on the floor. Like, आप लोगों में इतनी decency भी नहीं है कि आप अपनी rubbish साथ लेके चले जाओ and put it in a bin. Thirdly, the driving etiquette drives me insane. If I am in a predominantly white British area, people give you way, they let you come out on the road, I give way, they give way, it's all a fair exchange. The second I come into a heavily dense population of Asian people, you guys don't give way, you speed, you're rude, you have 3-4 car lengths of space and say, I want to merge into a lane. You will race in front to make sure I don't get in front of you. There's no more better description of behavior of people who feel inadequate and pathetic. That in things like this, the driving etiquette goes through the floor. I have to change my mindset. I'm sure a lot of you have to as well. I have to change the way I think about driving when I go to an Asian area. Because I know Beghairti will be a number one. Some of the places that you see people parking in. Okay, so I just want to say, I've also been guilty of this. I remember it was Eid day and I was in Southall Broadway outside Ambala, and there was nowhere to park and it was a double yellow line, and I just went on the pavement directly like that because all the other cars in the row were parked on the pavement like this way. Not along the side of the curb. They were on the pavement. So the parking spaces that you could get to, you couldn't get to anymore because the cars were hanging halfway into the street. So it's just atrocious. And then also, oh my God, I've been in a parking space before and I've watched someone park. You've got so much space behind you, yet you've parked right 2 inches away from my car. Ab kya bimari hai hum logon ko? Like, guys, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. That's why we're all like marrying outside of the culture now. We stay away. So wherever we have a dense population of Asians, please may I request to you, इंसानों की तरह जियो, with some integrity and some social etiquette. Because when people outside of our community see our men behaving in this way, they feel sorry for us. That's what I've had. When they see that we don't have proper etiquettes of living, like gandbala philaya hua hai hamare gharon ke samne, like that just makes them think even low of us. Then on top of that, the driving etiquette. There are actual national driving laws, guys. So why don't you follow them? Not what you did in Pindi or freaking, Tataisa. Oh, chalo ethe hi laga de, kuch nahi honda. Like, no, it does. It affects. When you don't have etiquettes of living, you don't realize that you then inadvertently teach your kids how to do that because they're in the car with you watching you, trying to be a racer boy at the age of 35 years old. Sharam aani chahiye hum logon ko. So please, stop embarrassing us in these areas and clean up your act.